What is up, DramaAlert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news. Now, guys, news broke last night on TMZ that Ray Diaz was arrested for domestic violence. Now, I dug into this. I got in contact with the girl that Ray Diaz allegedly beat up, and it's his ex-girlfriend. Her name is Landy Hicks. And the story she told me here on DramaAlert is absolutely insane. You're going to want to watch this whole interview. You are not going to believe what you hear from Landy about Ray Diaz. Here's the interview. Roll it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Ray Diaz's ex-girlfriend now on the line. What happened between you and Ray, Landy?
Well, towards the end, it got real bad, and I had to, unfortunately, go to the cops about it because nobody else would help me. I asked for help from the guards at 1600, and they said since I wasn't a resident that they could not help. So I had to go to the police.
So this was at 1600 in Vine where all the YouTubers stay?
Yeah.
Or all the social, influencers or whatever?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's where Ray stays, and you went to the actual guards there, and they wouldn't help you because you're not a resident?
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
let's start from the very beginning. How did you meet Ray? Like, how did you guys start dating?
Okay, so pretty much I was walking. Okay, I just got to Hollywood in October, and I was going to a dance school, and I was walking on Hollywood Boulevard about to go eat by myself, and I was on the phone with my friend who's a guy, and Ray came up to me, and I had no idea who he was. I didn't really follow Instagram or YouTube or anything, and he's like, "Oh my God, can I please have your Instagram? You're so pretty." And I was like, "I have a boyfriend," and I showed him like the guy that I was talking to on FaceTime, my friend, and went and ate dinner, came back out, and he was still there. So then he asked again, and he told me that he was from Florida, and I'm from Florida, and he pretty much like hooked me with. He said he was a dancer and everything, so we were hanging out, and he asked me to stay the night, so I did, and then we really clicked. He was really funny and sweet, and then from then on, we really stayed the night with each other every single night.
Now, real quick. In the past, people have said that Ray was like lying about his age constantly. He's like 32. How old did he tell you he was when you guys first met?
He told me he was 29, and I was like, whoa. Like, I didn't really ask him his age until the next night because I thought he looked so young. So I was like, okay. So he told me he was 29, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I finally got over it.
And then when did you find out that he was lying about his age to you?
Like a month before I left.
Oh, good Lord.
He sat me down pretty much before the whole thing where he pretended to get hacked and everything. He told me, hey, a lot of crap's about to go down. I need to tell you something. And I was like, what? He was like, I've been lying to you. And he gave me his ID, and it said his birthday and everything. And I was like, wow, okay. Well, thanks for lying to me for 7 months. That's real cool. And I didn't really know what else to do, so I kind of just was like, all right, whatever, I guess.
So you mean when he was on Instagram, all right, and everyone thought that he was hacked, and videos were being released of him and Lele Pons like making out, and it seemed like they were like kind of together, right? He was releasing that himself?
Oh yeah, he did that. It was no hacker. It was definitely him.
Oh, were him and Lele Pons actually dating?
I don't really want to put that out there because I don't know how Lily would feel about it, or Ray. I don't want to get into that.
That's their business. Okay, I get it. All right, so you and Ray were together for like 7 months, right? When did it go ugly? When did it get bad? And how, did we get to the point of TMZ reporting that Ray was arrested for abusing you, like physically? What happened?
Okay, so Well, whenever I moved in with them. So I got injured at my dance school, and they said, okay, well, unfortunately, we can't have a dancer who's not able to dance right now, so come back next semester. They gave me 2 days to leave, all the way back across country to Florida. So Ray was like, oh, well, you can just stay with me until you get back on your feet. And I was like, all right, 1 month tops, and then I'm going to get an apartment because I don't want to live with you. And he was like, okay. Well, a month goes by, and he's like, if you leave, we're breaking up. You're not going to be able to be helped with your career, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, okay, then I guess I'll say whatever.
He tried to trap you?
Yeah, he did that a lot. So I stayed, and I kept telling him, I think it'd be better if I moved out. And he would he had problems with me going home because I live in Florida in like a really southern part. So whenever I go and hang out with my friends, we're like in the pastures and in the woods. So we don't have any service. If I didn't text him for an hour, he'd have a heart attack saying that I was cheating on him. So eventually he was like, you can't go home or I'm going to break up with you because you get sketchy when you go home. You disappear on me.
Wow.
And he like freaks out.
Okay.
So he would call my mom, tell her all of our business. My mom does not care. She was like, leave me alone. Leave me out of this. This is y'all's relationship. You need to stop screaming at my daughter. So the first time he ever did anything violent was about 3-4 months into the relationship. Yeah. So he spit in my face and called me a lot of names. And then, so he spit in my face twice, and then he poured a bottle of water over my head to degrade me.
Do you have any proof of any of this?
Yeah, I actually have a video of that exact fight, the first time he spit in my face. And the fight was because...
Wait, are you going to send that to us? All right, guys, we
yeah.
have the clip. We're going to roll that right now. Ray Diaz allegedly spitting on Landy. Roll it.
Stabbing me in my fucking back. That's what the fuck you are. Shit to me. Stab me in my back. What should I do, Landy? What should I do? What should I do? And I don't give a fuck how many people you tell that I called you a bitch and spit on you. Because you're lucky I don't spit on you again. Okay? I don't give a fuck, you ungrateful bitch, trying to sneak behind my fucking back. You're a slimy slut. That's what the fuck you are. You're a fucking slimy bitch. Why'd you fucking be sneaky about it? Huh? Why were you trying to be sneaking? Why are you trying to sneak? Why are you trying to sneak? Why'd you want to get in the first place?
Huh?
Why'd you do it in the first place?
Because
Why?
I didn't
Why?
know what to do.
Why?
I didn't know what
Why?
to do.
Huh? Why? It's simple. The fuck you mean you don't know what the fuck you do? You should have said fucking no! You should have said no!
What the actual F? All right, what is wrong with Ray Diaz? Is this guy crazy or what? Okay, so what else happened in this relationship?
Well, after that, I left him and I went over to my friend's house when he was in Big Bear with, I think he was either with Emilio or Yvonne. I don't remember which one he was with. It was when the twins were fighting and he went on a skiing trip. So the only way I could leave is if he was gone because he would freak out, cry, scream, throw my stuff if I tried to leave. So I left when he was gone and went to my friend's house. He made them drive all the way back from Big Bear and cried, had his family calling me, freaking out, like they were all acting like the end of the world. And I was like, guys, he is mean to me. I told his family, I was like, he's mean to me and I don't want to be with him anymore. And they were pretty much just like, you need to go see him. You need to go talk to him. So I didn't have anybody in LA because he didn't let me hang out with my friends. And he didn't let me go out. He didn't let me do anything. He would go out to the clubs and hang out with his guys, and I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's really messed up. That's just this is just straight up. I mean, it's emotional abuse, really. Yeah,
exactly. And so he would yell at me in front of his friends too, and his friends would kind of be like, okay. They wouldn't really do anything or say anything because he's scary, and he would scream at him and try to fight him.
So you were trying to leave. He went on a trip, so you had an opportunity to actually just take off. You left to Florida, and then what happens next?
Well, I didn't leave to Florida. I left to my friend's at 1555.
Oh, okay.
Right next door. Because my mom and dad, I didn't want to tell them yet because I was embarrassed, one, and two, I was scared. So
Well, you
I
shouldn't.
just
You
stayed with
shouldn't
my
feel
friends.
embarrassed. And to anyone listening out there, if you're in an abusive relationship like this, don't feel embarrassed. Talk to your loved ones. Talk to your friends. Get help.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, and so I felt out really alone. I had two friends. One's name was Alice. One's name was Helena. Helena lived in a dorm, so I couldn't stay with her. But I did stay with my other friend, Alice, and she helped me a lot. But he scared me into going and talking to him. And he, like, showed up with flowers, and he apologized, and he cried. And so I finally was like, okay, he promised me change. And then so I went back, and then about a week later, it got back to the same thing. If I spoke to one guy, it would be the end of the world. He would scream at me. He would say that he wouldn't let me pan downstairs because guys looked at me.
Wow.
Like, it was just really bad. Yeah. So, towards the end, he had a hernia surgery, and I took care of him. He made me do his laundry. He made me cook his meals. He made me buy the groceries. He made me clean the house, do everything. Hang up all this
Damn,
stuff.
it's 2018. Why did you play along?
I didn't even know how to cook when I first got there, and like when I didn't know how to cook and it turned out gross, he would be like, "Oh, you're so incompetent," blah blah blah. I'd be like, "Then do it your damn self. You got 2 hands and 2 feet. God bless you. Do it yourself." So.
All right, so I mean, it just sounds like you were like a prisoner, you know, like.
Exactly. And I told him that all the time. I was like, "I'm literally your slave," and So I like tried to tell his family about it. Well, not his family. I tried to tell his sister about it, and she kind of just like got angry because they don't know that side of them, and
Right.
I totally understand, and I love them to death, but they don't understand that he's like that, so they kind of stuck up for him instead of like coming like, okay, like this is getting dangerous, this is super toxic, and so I did everything, and then towards the end, he had 2 hernia surgeries, and I like took care of him. I helped him out of bed. I like did everything that I could to help him because nobody else was there for him, because his family lives in Florida, and it's not their fault. But so I helped him, and he was on medicine, and he blamed it on the medicine. But one night he was yelling at me for money. Keep in mind, I'm just turned 19 at this point. He didn't let me have a job for most of the time that we were together because he didn't want me working with guys. And so when I finally did get a job, it was through his friend.
Okay.
So he could keep an eye on me. So he was yelling at me about money, so I went downstairs and I grabbed my 2 credit cards and I tried to put it in his pocket so he could just stop yelling at me about it. And I accidentally scratched him or something, and he grabbed me by my throat, threw me up against the wall on the stairs, and choked me for like a couple seconds. And I was like coughing, and I couldn't breathe, and threw me down. And then I ran upstairs, grabbed my shoes, and tried to run out. And he stopped me, and he grabbed me by my throat and hit me real hard on my throat. And then I just kind of like cried and went to sleep. And then I woke up in the morning, and he goes, "Look what I did." And that was when he pretended to be hacked.
Oh, when he faked being hacked. Okay.
Yeah.
So the night before, he was literally beating you.
Yeah, literally a couple hours. It wasn't even like, it was like 2 in the morning, 12, something like that. So I kind of just was like, oh my God, whatever. So I just kind of was like, okay, I need to leave. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now. Trying to figure it out. And then 2 nights later, he comes upstairs all angry, and I'm brushing my teeth, and he says something rude. So I look at him weird, and I keep brushing my teeth, but he starts yelling at me for giving him a look, screaming at me. So I run to the bed, and I sit there, and I let him yell at me for a while. And then I'm sassy. I'm very sassy. So I didn't talk for most of it, and then he said something real rude, so I mocked him. And then he starts screaming, saying he's going to F other people, and I was like, okay, well then why am I here? And I went and I grabbed my suitcase, and he spit in my face. So I ran in the room, and I started packing my stuff, and he grabbed my phone from me. And then so I was like, okay, I need to leave. I want to go home. And he put his arms in the doorway and like stood in the doorway so I couldn't leave. And I would charge, like, try to go through his arms and through his legs, and he would pick me up and throw me across the room. Pick me up and throw me across the room, like, probably, like, 3 or 4 times. And then he, while I was on the floor crying, he grabbed me by my arm and my shirt, started slamming me on the ground, and he, like, ripped my shirt open, and my shirt ripped open on my neck, and it, like, cut my neck open and gave me the picture that TMZ posted on my neck with all the marks. That's from the shirt ripping open on my neck because he was slamming me so hard on the ground. So then after that, I was like, Alexa, call 911. And he randomly unplugged all the Alexas. And then I said, well, then I'm just going to scream until the neighbors come. So I start screaming, and he grabs me by my mouth and the back of my head, lifts me up off my feet, runs and hits me really hard into the wall. And that's where the bruise on my leg came from. And then he just started screaming at me, shut up, shut the F up. And it was like all because I was trying to leave. And then he started crying and throwing up, and I had to like help him because he wouldn't lean forward when he was throwing up. He was throwing up in his mouth laying back, so I thought he was going to die. So I helped him, and I was like taking care of him, and I was like, oh my God. Then he says he sees a demon and starts screaming, get away from me, get away from me. And I was like scared because I really thought he was seeing a demon. And I like run into the bathroom and I lock the door, and he calms down finally, and then we go to sleep.
Is he making this shit up so you feel sorry for him?
I think so, because he told his sister and me 2 days ago that it was an act to get me to stop trying to leave. And I said, well, I apologize because that was a good one. But so then I go 2 days later, I go to the police. I walk in the police station and tell them. They take pictures. They go and arrest them. And I'm with them when they're arresting him. So they took me so I could get my clothes out of his house. And I go upstairs and I'm starting to grab my clothes, and the cops are like, he's not cooperating. You need to leave. Like, it doesn't even matter about your stuff. It matters more about your life. You need to go. So I left like 2 of my Mac laptops there, all of my jeans, my really expensive dresses. Like, I left pretty much half of my life there. And I just got on a plane the same night and came to Florida. And I thought, thank the Lord, it's all done. Well, 2 days ago,
I think that like adds to your credibility. If you're willing to leave your computers and your clothes and stuff to get out of there, something probably is going on.
Exactly. Well, so then I thought I'm fine. I left. I think June 5th was the day. It's been a little more than 2 weeks that I've been here. And 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, I get a text message saying, your laptops have been shipped to the studio, which my mom owns a dance studio here in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And he says, your laptops have been shipped here to Florida to your mom's dance studio, but nobody came to get it. And I didn't think anything of it, but I asked my guy friend, and he was like, how does he know that? It was really late. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Right.
So I was like, you're right, I guess. So I had my friend stay with me, and then in the morning, I go get my package, and I leave my neighborhood, and 2 of his family members are sitting in a car behind a tree waiting for me. So I start driving. They follow me all the way to my mom's dance studio, and then he's waiting at the dance studio in the parking lot hiding. I get out, go inside, and I'm like, hey, there's a pastor at the dance studio because it's half of a dance studio and half of a church. And the pastor's sitting there with his workers, and I'm like, hey, did you find a package? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's at the front. I go to get in my car, and I look down the street, and he's like running down the street. Right. It was running down the street for me. So I run inside, and I'm on the
Wait,
front.
Ray Diaz was in Florida?
Yes. Yes.
Ray Diaz went to Florida, told you had a package somewhere. You go there, and it's a
setup.
It's a setup. Yeah,
Well,
I'm at a loss of words. This shit is so fucking crazy.
Well, the craziest thing is he waited. He had to have been there the whole night because he told me that the package was there the day before at 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't get it until 9 o'clock the next morning. So he had to have been waiting there or something. I didn't ask him, but so I run inside the studio thinking, okay, he's not going to come in the studio. He's smart enough. No, he barges in the studio. So I run through the studio to the front, go out a side door, run to my car, get in my car, and drive away. And his two family members chase me through Leesburg, chase me around. Okay, so I'm driving as fast as I can, cutting corners, and I finally lose them. And I wait a little bit, and then I go back home, and I'm like driving to my neighborhood because I was in pajamas. Like I wasn't ready to like go anywhere and hide. So I was gonna just go home and grab my stuff, tell my mom, and leave. And keep in mind, my mom was having surgery at this time, so she couldn't help me, and I couldn't call her. So I was freaking out, and I drove to my house, and I don't see them at all until I get right up to my driveway. And at my driveway, there's I live right in the woods. So he was not Ray, but his two family members were hiding in the woods waiting for me. So when I pulled in, they got out so that I couldn't get out of my driveway and leave unless I literally ran them over.
And what did they say? What did they want?
They just wanted to talk to me and want me to talk to Ray and, oh, Ray's sorry. Oh, Ray loves you. Oh, Ray does this. And Ray was texting me on Snapchat saying that he wants to have a baby with me. He hopes I miss my period, that he wants to marry me. He wants to move to Florida. He was being crazy. I never responded to it. And so I they wouldn't leave me alone. Like, they literally trapped me so that I would talk to them.
Did you call the police in Florida about this incident? No. So you only reported what happened in L.A. to the LAPD, but there's no report of this crazy incident happening in Florida.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't report it is because he didn't come to my house. He went to the studio, and then he stayed there, and only his two family members, who are very sweet, came to talk to me.
But you need to get an order.
Like, even though they did something crazy, like, I definitely...
No. This is not normal. You need to get an order of protection against Ray in Florida, against all of his family members. They cannot do this to you. They cannot say, go here and pick up your laptop, all right, and then sabotage. Like, they can't do this. Like, this is really fucked up shit, and there should be a police report on that thing alone. Like, these people are not acting normal. This is not a sane thing to do. This is not okay. Something very bad could happen to you.
Yeah, I agree, and I didn't have anyone with me. I was all alone. I was so scared. But whenever one of the family members walked up to my car, I was, like, shaking and crying. And they were like, oh, my God, what's wrong? And then whenever I told them, they were like,
wonder what's wrong. I wonder what the fuck is wrong. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I was just ambushed and set up. That's what's wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it right here for now. Ray Diaz, leave this girl alone, all right? If you text her, if you have family members trying to talk to her ever again, she's going to be right back here on DramaAlert telling everybody. Ray Diaz, leave this fucking girl alone. If you enjoyed this interview, make sure you slap a like on it. If you're new here, make sure you sub with those notifications on. DramaAlert Nation now over 3,900,000 subscribers. Holy shit! What the fuck? I had no idea it was this crazy.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, the Martinez twins and Spencer and Twan and all these people knew that he was treating me like this, and they never did anything. And he also, he had two roommates, and they heard him yelling at me all the time. They watched what he made me do, and they did nothing. They said nothing. They didn't even talk to me.
Dude, honestly, Landy, fuck all of them.
Yeah.